I have one problem today that I'm going to do in this video. That is this one. It's asking me to find the position and the velocity of this object, and the function is given. So the position function is given, and so that's just going to mean that I'm going to plug in pi over 8. So when I plug in pi over 8 into my function, it reads 12 times pi over 8 minus 1/4 sine of 12 times pi over 8. Well, what that really gives me is 1/3 cosine of 3 pi over 2 minus 1/4 sine of 3 pi over 2. Because I know my unit circle, I know the cosine of 3 pi over 2 is 0, and I know the sine of 3 pi over 2 is 1. So that means that my position, oops, that should be a negative 1, excuse me. That means my position is 1/4 foot. The next thing I'm going to do is find the velocity, and we know that velocity is found by finding the first derivative. So I will find the first derivative of this, bring down my constant. I will multiply it by the derivative of cosine, which is negative sine of 12t. It's not just a plain x, so I have to multiply it by 12, minus 1/4, take the derivative of sine, which is cosine, 12t, and I'm going to multiply that by 12 because it wasn't a plain old x. I'm going to do a little simplifying here. I'm going to say I have 12 times 1/3, which is a 4, and I have a negative here, so it's a negative 4 sine 12t minus 1/4 times 12, which is 3, cosine of 12t. Now the last thing I want to do is go ahead and plug in my pi over 8. So I have negative 4 sine of 12 times pi over 8 minus 3 cosine 12 times pi over 8. I'll have to finish computing that up here. So that really gives me y prime equaling negative 4 sine of 3 pi over 2 minus 3 cosine of 3 pi over 2. So I have negative 4 times, we know that this is negative 1, minus 3 times 0. So the velocity, remember derivative is the velocity, or the derivative of the position function is the velocity. The velocity happens to be 4, and we'll go ahead and label that as feet per second.